On the back of my paper, I'm writing my name, class code, and I'm writing what number landscape I chose and the mood that goes along with it. Now I can take a look at my reference photo and I can start with my pencil to map out the foreground, middle ground, and background. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball this. It does not need to be perfect. So I'm taking a look at the general shape of my foreground. That's where I'm gonna start because it's closest to us. So I'm noticing where the grass is in the line that it makes. And now I'm noticing in the midground, I see a couple mountains. So I'm gonna go ahead and map out where those mountains are, and it kind of dips below my foreground. I have another mountain further in the back, and I have one more mountain. Great. And now I have all of this open room for my sky. My foreground, middle ground, and background mapped out. Now you will see on your trays today that you have your paints. We have neutral colors. The reason why we have neutral colors, black, brown, and white, is because we're gonna make something called an underpainting. And an underpainting is what artists sometimes use when they're creating big paintings or big finished paintings. It helps to bring all of the colors together. There are many different colors in your landscape. So by making sort of background or underpainting underneath all of your chalk pastel, it's gonna help bring your artwork together. So in our last project, we talked a lot about value. Today, I'm gonna show you how to create value with your paints, and you're going to identify the areas in your photograph that have darker value and lighter value. Perfect. We're going to be putting lots of chalk pastel and lots of colors on top of this. So what I'm looking for today is just for you to see the lighter areas of your landscape and the darker areas. So as I look at my landscape that I chose, I'm seeing that the darkest part seems to be these mountains. So I'm keeping that in mind. The lightest parts seem to be the tippy top of my foreground and kind of where like the sunset is over here. So as I go to paint, I'm keeping that in mind. I like to start with the area that's kind of in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm simply going to take my paint on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to go right ahead and follow neatly along the guideline that I drew. Now I'm just using my regular brown for now, because this is where I'm noticing just a regular color. And I'm going evenly, and I'm going pretty thin. Your paint doesn't need to be super thick. So this is where I see the most neutral or middle value. Once I have that area filled in, I'm ready to move on to my next area. I'm going to rinse my brush by gently swirling in my water, and then I can wipe it off, but I need to rinse it one more time just to get all that paint off so I don't make the other paints dirty. Okay, now I'm looking at my photograph and I'm noticing the lightest areas. That's the value I'm gonna choose next. So what I can do is I can take a little bit of brown, just a touch, rinse my brush, dry it off on the sponge. And for my lighter value, I'm gonna wanna take much more white. So I'm taking some white, and now I'm gently going to create my lighter value. I'm mixing my paint right on my paper. And I'm going right into the lighter areas. If you have time, you can get even more specific with the lightest areas on your landscape. Like I can go even lighter over here if I would like to. I rinse my brush each time. I wipe it on the sponge. And I choose my color. And I can mix it right in here. And I'm being aware of where my paintbrush is going, so I don't go over my line, I'm going right to my line. I'm gonna go to my midground, which is my darkest value. So I'm rinsing my brush once again, drying it on the sponge, And I can take my neutral color, rinse, wipe, and mix in some black to get my darker tones in my mountains. Okay, and once you're finished, your painting I should see a range of values, right? I should see darks, I should see midtones, and I should see the lighter areas. At the end of class, when we clean up, your paintbrush should go right in the water. Your cups of paint should be aligned just like how you found them, and you can even place your pencil right on the tray for your table helper to return it. All right.